And we are in here for our opening match between MIBR and the Evil Geniuses, looking for a spot in that grand final. Start on Inferno, EG's map pick, but a comfortable ground for both squads. This is no sure thing.
Yeah, over the last 3 months, only 8 times have these teams fallen on it. They've got 29 wins combined. It is ridiculous how good they perform here. Let's see if MIBR is going to have the edge again as they did yesterday against Pain. There's a great start. BRN finding Hex Jr. gets the immediate trade, though, and a 4v4 setting itself up here at the bottom of Banana for the most part.
Oh, that's a nice find for Junior. Patiently waiting for Henny, knowing the spam was coming through from Car, but not revealing it, not taking the bait until the swing came through. Now major pressure on for Breno. Sonny trying to group up with it, but George collecting turtle. They could go back. They've got their choice. They've got their pick of the sites, and there's a minute still on the clock, so this has not been slow at all by the Evil Geniuses. George losing his life to a little ankle break. Realizes he's got a site for free, and so his teammates are going to hesitate as he continues to not spot. It's the player in library. And a group to join him. They even have a moto smoke if they want it, which would absolutely ruin any chance for Insani to get involved. Haven't seen anything in a while. And he's missed his moment. The bomb's now crossing in. It's going to be planted. He is indeed smoked off. Oh, plenty safe. And this is going to be so tough of a retake.
Yeah, I mean, what can you really do if you're MIBR? You got the body armor on Insani, the kid on BRN. There's something worth saving here, so I don't think they necessarily have to go for fights, and it looks like they're not going to. They're just going to back off.
I'm a little surprised just because there was the kit, so there's still the possibility to wait out the smoke and see if you could get anything, but with Brenner not rotating over to support at all, BRN backing off, it's just clearly not happening. Insani, one, two. He's got not got time.
Oh,
he's
no
not got
kit.
time.
He doesn't have
because of the kit, because of the lack of the rotation over. I mean, a pistol round can always swing on a dime, but they're not going to have a chance to contend here. Some snappy shooting from Insani on the tail end, but the round goes to EG.
Wow, that is impressive from Insani. Clinical shooting as he gets 3 frags. But it's EG who take the round thanks to a fantastic start there. And honestly, they didn't have to rotate towards the A site, but once they found it for free, they said, you know what? I mean, let's just go there anyway, even though it could get risky, but they take the safe path, they get the bomb planted, and yeah, they lose the bodies, but it, again, doesn't matter. They got the round, and now they'll upgrade to an AK, 2 Galils, and 2 MAC-10s. On the MIBR side, they are forcing up, and because Insani gets 3 frags, that means A1S. Big difference. If he doesn't get the 3rd one, I don't think he can afford that. Either way, Insani going to try and use that Hot Rod M4A1 to his advantage and help his team perhaps come to victory. MIBR, no slouches on their force by rounds, as we saw yesterday. BRN's going to go out with a great flashbang, but Hex, blinded and all, sprays him down, makes it a 5v4.
That's a massive coup. I mean, I think he was full white, just playing the angle.
Yes.
Just spraying and praying. An opener here. They're still headed in towards the stack. Despite getting that pick, they want to work some control on the other side of the map. This is the nature of what EG like to do. A smoke up. And now they know the A1S is out, but it's pressure on the turtle. What do we do? Just with the Eagle position revealed that he's a dead man. And they're locked out. This might just turn into a safe call. Disastrous for MIBR. The bulk of their presence was completely avoided. And indeed, Insani is backing away. This gun too valuable to risk. So EG, once again, just never really giving MIBR a chance to fight back.
Yeah, EG, they love their map control in Inferno. I'll tell you that. You know, they get that frag at top Banana, but more often than not, EG's going to rotate back and forth before they actually commit to a bomb site. That time, only one time, going back to the A site, taking care of business there. The 2 players that tried to find the frags on them, and that is going to give them a 2nd round in their back pockets. MIBR, though, at least walk away with an A1S and an MP9. But that just did not go the way they were hoping.
Not at all. Not at all. So another eco on, and the money is starting to build here for EG in a big way. 5 players surviving here means they've already got the 2 SMGs to hunt up these unarmored players. This is another prime opportunity. Climb up to 3, have that bang just bursting out of your wallet. Cash for days. Cue up the gif of the guy just falling back onto the bed. That's where EG might find themselves soon.
Perhaps so. Especially with MIBR not really investing into this round. George flies around the corner, gets the shot on Insani, but immediately traded by Turtle. Actually goes to the P250 and then picks up the A1S off the ground.
They found the gun, though. They found the gun face first, John. Now they can just run into B. They know this is a light sight. Worst case scenario, there's an SMG here. Ugh. Terrible situation for MIBR. So what damage they could do? None. Hex takes down the totem pole. It's over.
Fantastic. Just picture perfect from EG. You know, they sometimes look a little shaky on their Inferno because of the hesitation. Right now, we're not seeing any of it, and that's why they're doing so well, because they read, like you said, they read where the rifle was, and they immediately rotate to the B site off of it, get 2 pretty straightforward frags from Hex, who just spams with the MAC-10, realizing that they're probably unarmed opponents, and then a 3rd round secured for EG. And like you were saying, now it's going to be cash for days on their side, because this was just carrying over the weapons they had in that previous round. Junior is absolutely going to be a player to watch out for throughout this series. He actually leads the league in the playoffs in frags per round at 0.84 and also leads the league in op frags at 71.
He'd do be good with the Zoom banger.
Yes.
Is second on that list, Henny?
Hold on. I don't actually have that, but I think so.
I've asked for the one stat he doesn't have ready.
I think so, though, yeah. Let me double check. I'll get it for you.
And he has been ridiculously highly rated. Through the season in general, in the playoffs as well, was phenomenal in their matchup against Pain last night. Top-rated player. Control up top, Banana is looking for it. I'm not going to have it just yet. Look at this, though. Oh, this is the right read from EG. They're flowing in towards an A stack. Or rather, they're throwing into a Hall's pop. And there's only 2 players here in the defense. Turtle might be about to have his hands full. Struggling to fight the door. Rotation's coming in. Sonny reading this, not smelling anything towards A. And this is where now, with the utility up, EG slow things down. Maybe miss a window of opportunity. A bit of control being shown here. It seems like they're just holding for aggression back into their way, and that's not coming.
Turtle. Oh my gosh. Turtle's going to be so important here. EG charging right up into him. He gets one. Henny actually gets the opening frag, and the Turtle drops off balcony to get himself a 2K. Insani pops Resh, and Junior is now the last one standing. The man we were talking about, he's got the AK, not the op in his hands. Not to say he can't do it with the rifles, but it's a tall order, Mike.
Yeah, this is the difference when the utility comes out, right? They offset the tempo from EG. It's easy to dry run when your opponents can't throw mollies, can't throw smokes to slow you down. This time, they hesitate. They wanted that mid presence and the balcony presence to activate at the same time, and there was a moment for it for sure. When the smoke came up in towards mid, it slowed them down. The rotations came in, the reinforcements came in, and it all fell apart. Now it's going to be contact with a site player, and Insani's not going to need a second swing. He is lethal, as we will know. So MIBR, get on the board. Was just a bonus round for EG. It's no harm, no foul in that sense, but considering the amount of positioning they had, they're a little annoyed when they watch back that demo and realize the opportunity they missed.
Yeah, no question. And just a note, Mike, actually only 26 of Henny's 71 kills in these playoffs have been with the AWP.
Wow.
Yeah, he hasn't really been doing with the big green. Yeah. So, behind Junior actually was Pone Alone, who's no longer in the playoffs at 69. He played really well throughout the playoffs, just the rest of the team not as well as he did, for sure.
Hex here by the logs. blade. BRN's looking for it, commits to it, and he gets away. Man, advantage found for MIBR. Now things are looking peachy keen here in this first true full gun round.
Molotov's going to force Henny to either use a smoke. He doesn't have a smoke, actually. He has to run out of here, and he goes down to 31 HP. He's going to fall back to Arch, trying to defend here, but he's got someone behind him, so Genius decides to push up. He'll be in trouble, but a good flashbang thrown doesn't really yield much. The trade is there, but Exit's better. He gets 2. Junior and George, the last 2 standing. They've got lane control, but they need frags.
Yeah, they're a little stuck. They've got a smoke, they got a Molotov, but they need somebody to face. Turtle's going to set his smoke up to keep himself alive in pit, and that gives him a frag. Junior is just going to slink away. Slink away and try and save this AWP. No easy upgrade afforded to MIBR, unless BRN finds this. Something. Is the door open? It is indeed.
Oh,
Free
wow.
op for Henny. Why do you need to invest when they'll deliver it right to you?
And that's just gift wrapped for Henny. Like you mentioned, he's going to grab that and eagerly take control of it. Exit did a great job there to get 2 in that situation just because there was so much pressure on. But he still manages to contribute, and he has actually been the best player for MIBR throughout these playoffs, which surprised me a little bit. But he's got a plus 44 kill to death differential, 89 frags, only 1 behind BRN, and also a KDR that leads the league of 1.98. That's 4 maps into the playoffs, and he's the best ADR player at 87.2. Impressive stuff, not to mention he's the IGL. We talked about the contrast between MIBR and Pain Mike, and Big Uzera versus Exit seems like they are very similar right now anyway in the way they're playing. Oh, Henny gets the opener here onto George.
That's the op coming into effect. Now they're gonna have to test that every time to go into one of the sight lines. Right in this pit. Only 2 found. Damage onto the 3rd as well. Rush is softening up. Henny taken out of play. There's some risk. He's financially into this one, but they can't capitalize with the AWP. 1 more kill there would have been nice to make it costly. They do burn the op at least. Curious if MIBR will go for the reinvestment. Be back onto the rifles. Yeah, they've gone back to the op.
Yeah.
Makes sense, especially when you have the duel on the other side, and you still got some cash to spare.
Junior's just so good right now with the AWP that it's tough to say don't buy it on his side, even on T side of Inferno. BRN. We'll be waiting here with the HE. And yeah, 3 players from MIBR setting up the util. It is Chonky indeed. X down to 18. BRN looking to spam through the smoke more than likely. He's got the perfect gun for it. But he waits for the fade, and Junior gets a crack at it, and he can't finish off Junior either. So both players missing their opportunities, and we still sit at a 5v5.
The damage done, though, is substantial. I mean, Hex must have caught that nade between his thighs. I don't know how it did that much damage. Full armored player. It must have been 2 nades, I guess.
It was 2 nades.
Yeah, brutal. Punishing. Turtle's got the opener. George out of play. That is frequently the A lurker as well for EG, so options starting to be limited. But has Rush just slipped this gap? Oh my goodness, Rush. They're not expecting this. This is a miraculous play, but Turtle's aware. Turtle is aware. I don't know whether he gave an audio cue, but somehow Turtle was ready to look for it, so never mind. Thought that was a really cheeky moment for Rush. Instead, now EG going into a one-dimensional take, but they're now out of utility. They've spent it all. It hasn't gotten them much. They know there's a new box player here. New box and Pillar. A lot to fight, and they're going to succeed at every turn. Wow. Look on these HEs. Look at these HEs, though. This could be huge. One's down already. Great shot from Junior. Had to hold the line. Without a smoke up, it represented an opportunity. The reposition, both going towards the cross. This is huge in terms of control. Flashbang around, but MIBR not liking what they're seeing. Might just be backing away.
Wouldn't blame him. Yep, they're gone. They're out of there. Wow, what a take from EG. Flashbangs perfect, on point, and then Junior with the AWP. What did I say? Gets 2 and just opens up the bomb site with Walco. And then, well, they don't have to worry about Insani and Henny. One thing that's really impressive about EG is they don't necessarily rely on any one player in terms of flashes. Everyone on the team has 0.75 or more flashes thrown per round, and they're all really, really solid and efficient at throwing them. The best in terms of flash assists is Junior in the regular season anyway at 0.12, but anyone can come out and support very well, which is a reason why I think they're so successful and have that strategic advantage over their opponents.
We're going to get some apps control early on here. It's a 3v5, and MIBR stumbled in the last round. That's going to be a toughie. They've got to the double op to try and compensate for it. BRN playing with it over towards Banana. And Knee here on the porch. Tagged up, backing away, but they didn't expect the op to be here. There's no utility to bail him out, though. It's too late, that smoke. Henny down, and if Insani challenges this, there's an op on the line. Yeah, begging him to go for a peek, go for a check. But it might be Walco instead to swing on in, trying to bait out this shot. Catch one through the pillar. No kill just yet. Oh, that could have been it.
Goodness.
How is Walco alive? All about the timing of this hurdle. Picks up the op, Insani gets 2! Oh my goodness. The eyes turn away. He's got the bomb. He's got the bomb in his possession now. He's got a teammate with him. They have to battle back off the site. They have to fight through this. They have to reclaim some ground. What should have been theirs. A bomb plant, at least.
They have the smoke.
Goes up the flame. The spam. Costing them in the health. The retake. It's Swift. They're not going to wait. They're not going to hesitate. The smoke isolates the fight a bit. They know Hex is pressing the corner, but George from the pit is a nuisance, and Hex has slipped out. Insani still collects for his 3rd of the round, and he's looking for 4. This is actually, I don't think you can deny the excuse. You have to swing from the pit, but George has done exactly that. Tap on. Just trying to stick his BRN, but it's George all the way with a 4K of his own. He sees Insani, and he erases him.
Oh my goodness, George. His 3rd 4K of the playoffs, leads the team in that category. And again, the Evil Genius is just doing such good work when they're down a man. Hex in particular, I really like that movement. Yeah, that's just practice and practice, knowing which angles you can go by, ducking around the corner, knowing that he doesn't get spotted out. He doesn't end up getting anything out of it, but he forces MIBR to wait a little bit longer till they can get that frag. And actually, they have to take the initiative just to find him, and gives George a little bit more time and burns a little bit more time off that bomb in order to make MIBR a little bit panicked and trying to get that defusal. And George, I mean, perfect chef's kiss there on that 1v4 as Evil Geniuses take a 5th round. It feels like George is definitely comfortable on Inferno as of late. This is already a better T side than Evil Geniuses showed yesterday against Nouns.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, it's looked quite brilliant, actually.
Yes,
Compared to what we're used to seeing, it's been so much more decisive. We've had like one round, maybe, where they're kind of milling about a little bit in that Halls pop, but that was even just the bonus round, so you really can't fault them too much for it. This has looked very decisive. We have a DC here, so might just be a moment before we resolve that. Hopefully not long. Let's see. Let me peer into the future, John. See how long this might take us.
Use the time stone.
Oh, we should be good. We should be good. Just a brief one here. I've peered into the future, folks. I got powers like that. I have been playing that little that Marvel Midnight Suns game. I don't know if you've seen it. It's entertaining. It's a Firaxis game. Which is like XCOM kind of vibes. It's vaguely XCOM-y, but with Marvel characters. It's very goofy. There's also like slice of life elements. You would enjoy it probably because there's elements of Persona in it. But last night I was
Yeah.
having a book club meeting with Captain America, and I was like, this is weird. This is
That's
maybe
just
too
weird,
far.
though. Yeah. Feels a little forced, a little hokey.
It actually works in the context, but it is definitely a goofy. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Got some
Well, maybe I'll
undefined
check it
out
out.
on the server here. They're ready to roll. I'm gonna guess that that's George. DC reconnect. Sometimes goofs out our HUD just a little bit. We'll get that sorted in just a second here, folks. In the meantime, pressure on early for the porch. Henny burning. No smokes available over here. They're very lacking in the utility. It's all over towards Banana, so Molotovs are going to be deadly.
Henny. I mean, he's got Turtle and Sonny and Exit, right? This is a very dangerous place for Evil Geniuses to poke their heads out, but they're always cautious. So I imagine they're going to get a flashbang thrown, maybe go for a peek afterwards to see what's up here. There's that flash. And another one coming through. They got the peek. They've got the info. They lose a body, but it's worth it for the info because they get the trade from George. And now they're going to rotate to the B site. They've seen enough.
Indeed. Indeed, but it's got to be careful. And Sonny's chasing this just a little bit. And him not detecting presence outside in towards mid. When does Henny start to float over? They've at least got Exit present. It's going to be an easy one by any measure. Flashes being tossed by Exit. That flank is on. You're absolutely right. They need to get in towards the site sooner rather than later. But Brenno goes down 1 for 1. Oh, and there's the second. So now this flank doesn't really work as one. Although they're not quite ready on the timing. They don't seem to be reading this. Junior's now posted up. He'll be the first to catch, but he's deleted. Decisive shot from Insani. Henny back in, all onto George. And they did not realize, they were not aware, they were not prepared for that rotation to be so swift.
Wow. Yeah, that's really nicely done from Insani and Henny. Henny at 9 HP still gets the frag, gets an op upgrade as well. That looked like it was going to just pile in the way of Evil Geniuses, but instead MIBR managed to pull things right out of their clutches. With, like you said, just they went for that flank a lot sooner than EG realized, and because they didn't actually have any contact on the flank before getting to the bomb site, that's what really threw them for a loop because, yeah, MIBR were just right in their faces right away. Junior not even able to get a shot off before he goes down. So MIBR pick up their fourth, and looking at the money, it's not as great as you'd think with how well EG has been playing, just because MIBR still were getting the frags on them, so it's just going to be pistols here. 4 RPG-50s, the Tech 9. Oh, Bjarn's charging up mid. He already gets one onto Hex, and he's got so much control. Oh, Junior comes back and gets the headshot. Didn't expect that.
That was ambitious. Once he's going through the smoke, that's bold to say the least. So a gun given over. Prime opportunity here now. Actually make some damage into this round. Still a slim possibility, but not an impossibility. EG, a team that save even more in these rounds than you would normally expect based on meta, right? You've got George on towards 4K. Everybody's at 2,500 or above. They're going to have a lot going into the next gun round. And not a lot going in this.
No.
Needs to headshot on Turtle and they've got a bomb plant.
So
I'm not going to get that.
Ooh, that was a lot of chances for Rush there. Just couldn't connect on a single shot. Perhaps an awkward angle. And we're all tied up at 5. So, by the way, Mike, to answer our question from before, Mr. Dank has come through and said, if two teams in the grand finals that play each other are in EPL already, such as MIBR and EG, so we'll get a rematch in the grand finals, the EPL spot will not go to the third placing team and will instead go to the NA team with the next highest ESL WR. I think win rate, I guess?
World ranking.
World ranking, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the ESL world ranking.
Got
it would be interesting to see which roster that would actually be. Because most of the NA teams with high world rankings already have partnered slots. When you're looking at Furia, you're looking at Liquid, you're looking at Complexity, you're looking at EG. Well, EG doesn't, the main roster at least. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that would be really interesting to see who it could be. I suspect it might be Pain.
I would think so as well. That would be my guess. Well, Hex is going to feel some pain here as Henny catches him off immediately with the AWP 5v4. And Henny's going to continue posting up here at Banana, so EG are going to have a tough time getting any space there. And that is really a good thing for MIBR, because when Evil Geniuses feel trapped, that's when they don't necessarily play well on their team side.
That was a flashbang that did not catch at all. Turtle never blinded, never flinching from his angle. So they're going to try and threaten Arch instead. Exit. Oh, he can indeed. The flashbang from Insani perfectly timed ahead of that smoke blooming. Rush down for the count. This one looking like a non-starter for the Geniuses. 2v5. Walko at least is a bit of a cheeky spot here. Through the Arch he goes. Did they realize this could be a possibility? He opts not to let the trap library. Could have been huge, but instead Henny's watching the angle. And he'll drop the bomb. Nothing doing for Junior. It's a save.
Alrighty, another save for Junior as he backs off here. So feels like we're in a bit of a loop.
Oh, it's been a while since this, but this time he will get the one kill that might just secure him the AWP. I think he should have this, provided he sticks around in the kitchen. Pick up some pancakes.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant to define that loop, Mike. It's MIBR starting off strong. Evil Geniuses getting a little bit of momentum, and then MIBR forcing Junior up to saves again. So we're looping all the way back to the beginning is what I meant to imply.
Very specific.
Yes,
loop.
Yes. MIBR have got the lead again, though. Probably pretty happy to have that into their hands. And Evil Geniuses will not force around the op, which makes for a very strange money situation, at least for Junior. Everyone else will be okay. That's if they lose here. Maybe they'll pull it off. They've got a P250 and a Tech 9 along with the op. Junior's boosted up over the smoke. If he gets the opener, that could really clear things up for them. And he not only gets one, but it's Rush who gets the other. Exit only finds one on his side, and that means only Insani left here. Some guns on the ground for EG to pick up. Junior jumping around, making noise. Hex looking over the top of that smoke, hoping to find something, but he doesn't yet. And the Evil Geniuses have exactly what they were looking for.
Prime opportunity to make something out of nothing. Prime opportunity here. Ah, Hex is a dead man. So hit the shot. He had one chance at it. Not going to have it. So nice clear out there from Insani. Asserts himself top banana. It means that they're going to feel comfortable, not feel like they need to rotate. So it's pressure on for Henny instead.
Yeah.
Moto and Pit. Oh, the jump across from Walko. That worked. Clears Henny off the first angle. Molotov's going to be down so they can't chase him. But what does Turtle have for us? One found. Flashbang on Turtle. Uncomfortable here. Doesn't have his teammates with him, but he's all good. All good. They don't know Walko's in this smoke. This should realistically be maybe one for Walko. And he's not even going to get that.
Yeah, I mean, Evil Genius is a great start, but again, most of the players didn't have body armor. Wasn't the greatest of buy-ups aside from the saved op. So, yeah, get a couple of frags. At least you punish the economy there of MIBR, but Turtle really settled things down well here. He gets George first. Walko slips by, but just a great headshot onto Junior in the follow-up situation. So, a timeout going to be called here, I presume, by the Evil Geniuses, as MIBR have restored a 2-round lead in their favor with the rounds waning here in this first half.
An extra point of clarification from Oso as we continue
to
analyze the implications. Pain may already receive an invite based on world ranking.
Okay.
Or based on world ranking and standing. So there could even be another one. Could be announced. Could be a something. I don't know. I don't know which way this one's going to go. But I'd be very intrigued. Now, it all might be a moot point. It all might be a moot point.
It might.
One of the other teams might just make this run through without issue. And wind up in that final. But it's an interesting thought experiment.
Indeed. Well, one way or another, there will be a team in those grand finals who already have an EPL spot. That's for sure. The question is, will it be two? But like you said, could just be a moot point. Henny, I think he spotted the information. Misses the shot, though. And now he's going to have to back off. Nade's going to be thrown. Flashbang as well, and he re-peeks it. Living dangerously for Henny, but eventually he will go back towards the top of Banana and into that B site. Oh, it's not going to get tossed for sandbags. That forces BRN out of position. No. Smoke thrown going to be thrown by Henny, so at least gives him some cover. And then Henny re-peeks again to finally drop one. That is Walco through the wall to boot, and BRN is very primed to do more damage here up against a lit Hex. There it is.
Indeed, can't get the last though. Junior able to at least bring back a little bit of a trade, but the shutdown in towards Boiler means that this is a very wounded Evil Geniuses. MIBR are going to play the buddy system towards the site, and as Insani continues to clear in towards the apartments. I should just get this beak. He knows where Rush is off that utility. What does he want to do? What does he want to do? Is he going to pinch Banana? Oh, this might actually be unreasonable.
The only thing that could cause a problem is Insani on the flank.
Well, I would say the only thing that could cause a problem is Rush on the flank, but that's not an issue because they were ready for it. And now Insani, he's got this one every day, week. Love that play from Insani. So cheeky. Knows where Rush is. Lets him go past him. And then slips again. Insani is 15-2? Are you kidding me?
He shoots good.
How has he only died twice, John?
He's good.
Yeah, but I mean, they've lost 5 rounds. I guess he's just saved every time.
He's been saving. It's Inferno, Mike. It's Inferno.
It's
like
true,
they're saving all the time.
Man.
It is. I agree. 15-2. Turtle 17-6 though. He's also popping off for his squad, and the player who I talked about at the beginning being the best for MIBR throughout these playoffs, Exit, is at the bottom with 4-6, which I mean is fine. He's typically not the one who's going to be fragging out, and if the rest of his team is, he's perfectly content with that. It's just he has been a great fragger for them up until this point here up against the Evil Geniuses. And Sani's waiting along with Turtle here in a crossfire towards the A site. And actually 3 Evil Geniuses slip through. This is trouble for Turtle, especially up against these Tech 9s. And he goes down immediately. Doesn't even get one. Insani out in the open in no man's land. He only gets one. And now the Evil Geniuses have the space to get the bomb planted.
Premium opportunity. Explosive play being rewarded here. They'd maybe trained MIBR to hold on to their nades just a little bit more, and as a result of that, the path on towards site is free and clear. Oh, goes the leg as well. The Iron has an idea that someone could be here, but it's not been activated yet. So when does Walco make his move? That would be the time. Now would be the moment. Indeed, he is going to creep up. Henny, the presence of mind to check that. That is shockingly good awareness, but there's no utility to dig them out of these spots. They're just going to need kills, and Henny will deliver that. Great shot onto the pit player. They're chewing right through, and that is a defuse on Henny. Big delivery. BRN to tap through the last 2, and time enough to secure 9.
BRN's been pretty quiet here so far in this first half, and I mean hasn't really been needed in a lot of those round victories prior to that, but a great job there clearing out the bodies pretty much by himself, helping his team get to that 9th round. Coming into this, though, BRN was rated 1.33 in the playoffs, good for number 4 in the league, and also had the highest frag count on his team at 90 with a 59% headshot percentage, which is number 3 in the league. Basically, I can go through so many stats for MIBR, but they have top 5 stats for pretty much every player at least has one of them, like I mentioned yesterday in the regular season, and also in the playoffs. As timeout's going to be called here. I thought EG had that one in the bag, to be quite honest, Mike, especially with the way they went for that waterfall. It worked out really well. They gained the space. They got 2 frags pretty much with the advantage going into that bomb plant, but then they didn't have the body armor to deal with everyone else that was coming.
I mean, it was even the op shots, right? So body armor wouldn't have even saved them. It was Henny. I mean, that shot first.
Well, the USP shot, right?
Of mind to wait for the Walco on the lurk, huge. Yeah. And then the fast shot onto the pit player. They had to get that kill pretty much instantaneously, and not having utility made it so difficult. So that's those are 2 ripping shots that allow them to actually go for the retake on towards the site proper. Really just a game of seconds there.
Fantastic, though. I mean, that's what we've gotten from MIBR throughout the season and the playoffs, though. So we kind of expected almost to this point, but indeed, it was nice. 15th and final round of play, finally going to get underway here as the timeout expires. Evil Geniuses have talked things over. They've decided what they want to do, and they will have the full utility and proper buy-up that they're looking for to do precisely what they want. Whether what they want works out, that is another question. Molotov going to get thrown at the top of Banana, and one exchange immediately by MIBR. This is great counter utility thrown by them as they gain complete control of Banana in the first 15 seconds of the round.
Doesn't mean that EG have held on to a ton of their utility, though. So if
Yes.
they want, if BRN sticks around here towards logs, he's no longer got a smoke. And he realizes that. That's why he's getting back off of it. It's such an exposed spot. If they call your bluff, if they dump a molly in there, there's no real escape. And this has been the call for EG. I mean, the first minute just spent waiting. Just trying to bleed out as much of that Banana utility as they can. It's an interesting judgment call. After the smoke fades, they're presumably going to try and take some space here. Now BRN will jiggle for the information. That is a bold fake. Burning your last Molotov. The fake that you backed out. They're not actually going to go up Banana, so that is a bit of a waste of utility.
Look at this execute.
Unfortunate there, but here it comes. All five coming in towards the A side. And
Eddie!
dancing around the pillars, so quick on the scope. And Insani there to finish it all off. A shutdown round. I don't care how you use your Molotovs if you're going to hit shots like that.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com. love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Second half going underway here. And a double-digit scoreline for MIBR off the first. I mean, this is a phenomenal opportunity for them to snatch away EG's map pick.
I mean, and something that might get lost in all this, Mike, is that it was 5-3 for the Evil Geniuses. Then MIBR won 7 in a row. Like, what a run, especially considering how good we were talking about it. You know, Evil Geniuses look decisive, look strong on all of their takes throughout their T side, which isn't always the case. And I don't feel like that changed. I just feel like MIBR took it up a notch.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, a big credit as well to Insani. It felt like every time they were trying to get on towards the A side, he just killed 3.
Even the last round.
Nice illustration here. Walco gonna get an opener though. A pistol round would go a long way to making this a bit more viable for EG. But look at this space. Henny battling into the back line. That's the bomb confirmed, and Walco chasing it to make sure they can't get a plant. So you've got a little bit of a lurk on Insani, but he's got 5 to find, and the element of surprise will only help him out with the first. Get that. Looking for more. A dink onto Junior. Oh, these players are low. His pistol is so lethal. They're gonna hunt him for 3. They know they have to kill this man. They know they have to kill him, and they just can't do it.
Oh,
Insani!
no!
Oh! He's finally put down, but exit now a 1v2, a winnable situation. Recoverable, perhaps. Trying to isolate these fights, and George will put him down. Insani did so much again for his team, but this time he's stopped.
And so is the round win streak at 7. Let's not forget, speaking of round win streaks, Evil Geniuses were down 14-4 yesterday. They won 12 in a row. So, I mean, it's on their CT side as well. So we don't know what can happen here, especially considering Evil Geniuses are much more comfortable on the CT side of Inferno. And they kick it off on the right foot, winning that pistol round. MIBR immediately going to force, even without the bomb plant, they want to go for this, which we're seeing more and more now. Usually T-sides opt for a save after not getting the bomb plant, but MIBR, I would say perhaps Brazilian teams in general are shifting more to forcing up afterwards, just because they're so confident in their pistol play.
Look, when you got Insani, and he hits pistol shots like he did in the last round, I'd try and give him a deagle in as many rounds as I could, too.
I agree. Feels like it's coming, right?
Feels like it might be. You hold your breath every time you peek a corner. It's that Kayota factor. Once upon a time, it was Henny. Not so much anymore. And he's actually going to get the rifle upgrade. BRN tagged up. Doesn't want to keep the big gun on. And Insani is, in fact, going to collect. It's not quite a 1-dig, but he'll take it. He was even unarmored, so winning that duel is astonishing. Finds a bit of impact, but look at this crunch. The double push down. Banana. Uh-oh. Flank going to be on. No one's watching for this. George, though. Lots of damage. Needs some kills. And he's got the 1. And now, it might just be a bit of a bait here for Walco to activate. Slam the door shut on this round, but Henny, not prepared for this to be close. Gets the reload on. Be chasing this. They're giving him a fight. Got to be careful here. Molotov down, but he's slow. Actually, almost nerves for him on the Molly spread. And Hext will find that last bullet needed.
Junior just jumping through the fire and the flames to get that AK. Took a little bit of damage, but he does retrieve it, and Evil Geniuses get a 7th, even though it started to look a little bit scary for them. George, you know, flubbing a little bit on the MP9, and then MIBR immediately rotates around to try and do the damage. And while they do get only 2 players, while they do only have 2 players left standing on the Evil Geniuses side at the end of the round, it fell a little bit short as Henny got trapped there. Still, interesting idea. I like that. Once they realized George was lit up a bit, they immediately go for the rotation. They just didn't have the firepower to pull it off. And look at Walco. He's charging up mid. Gets the first frag onto Insani. A lot of damage done by MIBR on another pistol round here. Walco has to be careful not to go down for free, especially considering 2 of his teammates are gone, and MIBR have the advantage. Walco does manage to give his team the edge, though, with the frag onto Turtle, and now a 3v2 as things start to calm down.
don't know if they're so calm.
little
Calmer, perhaps, this madcap round. But one more kill and this is expensive. 2 unarmored pistols to try and find it. And Hex now with confirmation. His name should be A-OK, and indeed he is. Woo, sigh of relief for EG.
Yeah, a lot more aggressive than we're used to seeing, right? They're trying to get into the heads of MIBR, I guess, and make them really wary of a push that's going to come through. And they obviously are aware of the fact that MIBR like to play a similar style on their T side to them, where they're trying to be patient and burning time off the clock and trying to get that util out from the CT side. So we'll see how it plays out, and if they continue to be aggressive here, if it's just a case of, hey, they have pistols, let's try and get those early frags. But my feeling is we're going to see a little bit more of it, at least at times, from Evil Geniuses. Junior, he's got the big green. He's looking for an opening frag, which he is very good at finding. #1 in the league in opening frag success rate. Yes.
#1.
#1.
Well, that bodes well for EG. I don't know how I feel with Insani on the other side, though. Still 23-6, despite this run of rounds back the other way. Bonkers performance for Insani. Now pressure onto George. He's going to want to drop some utility. Smoke to slow this up. There's still a minute on the clock. So as we mentioned before, MIBR also prone to the slower pace of play here on Inferno. And they're going to let the time whittle down.
Yeah, they're just waiting for a fight to come to them, but there's only so much waiting you can do. You eventually have to pick a bomb site, and with 30 seconds left, MIBR look like they're deciding on A. They're faking B, so they're hoping to keep these 3 players on the CT side from rotating over to the A site, and so far, it works. That means they just have to section off 2 players. 2 very good players, though, as Hex manages to get one onto Turtle. Junior's hanging on to life here, swinging around for a frag, looking for the follow-up, can't get it, but at least he confirms the position of Insani. Is that enough, though? He's been so good. Hex does manage to section off exit, and it leaves Insani on an island. He has to find his way out of this. And there's no time, Mike.
He goes down after the clock as well. And he's just going to try and save this gun, but there's no reward for Insani. They ran out of time. They ran that down way too low. When the bomb gets dropped on lane, it's over, right? That bomb had to make it through unscathed, and the pit player drops the C4, and that ends the round.
Unbelievable. They just waited too long, and then by the time they go, Evil Genius has had all the answers. Junior, the fact that he even survived long enough to get that frag, right, is crazy.
It is indeed. It is indeed here, John. Run boost. Cheeky run boost to get across the angle. Get posted up here down the T ramp. There will be a spot from the underpass. Junior backs off. Not much in terms of expectations into this round. It's a really tough spot for MIBR. They'd love to be able to crack something through here with, Insani, no loss bonus, Henny, no loss bonus in the last. If they can't somehow convert off of the 1 saved rifle, it may just be another eco. At least a partial buy. Loss bonus has mounted. Anything we got on this opener? Walko trying to peer on in the Molotov down the double swing off the flashbang. Henny lives, but is there nade to take him out? There isn't.
Doesn't need it. Nice shot.
Shot and a hold here. They're going to fade the smoke. George is ready for the fight. Oh, and the spray is good. He's out of bullets. He's out of bullets.
He ran out.
This is a bomb plant if they go immediately. On the cross, it's going to be tough. Junior here, a smoke to get it over. And there's a bomb plant secured. This goes such a long way to helping MIBR out into the next round. They need to get this, though. Exit. Gonna commit it. And that is a ton of cash gained.
They could still win this round, too. Let's not forget, right? It's a 2v3. Evil Genius have to get back in. They do have a significant util edge because there's nothing for MIBR and a ton for EG. Yep.
There's no mollies. There's no HEs. There's no damaging util to easily clear these spots. They've got to do it the hard way. And that's going to leave them exposed. Junior out of play. Time's starting to become an issue here. Smoke can't easily cover this off. Rush trying to make a move, trying to force the issue. He's done. He's deleted. It's over. Turtle does it all himself from the back of the site.
The headshot machine. Turtle comes through with 3 of them and just gives EG nothing to look at. This is, in my opinion, well, it's a mistake from George. I like the positioning, but you gotta have a full magazine of bullets in the AK, because if he does, round over. He had it. He had the spray control. He had everything he could possibly want. The lineup, just the bullets weren't there. Oh boy. So the Evil Geniuses end up losing that round. And George, well, he'll have to make up for his mistake here. Especially considering Evil Geniuses didn't really get to build up their economy that well. And they're forcing up here, which will yield an AWP, an A1S, 2 MP9s, and a 5.7. But it is not a pretty buy-up. They need to get frags quickly and early. I almost do. BRN down to 14 HP. And now a smoke thrown for Arch side to section off Junior, who's going to have to fall back to either Moto or Arch CT.
It's just George on this side of the map. Hex, though, going to get himself an upgrade. There you go. Turtle taken out. Guy's been lethal, so good scalp to find early, and now an upgrade in the weaponry department. Walco as well coming in to reinforce B.
Great read.
Hex is even starting to float over as well, so the window of opportunity, it's slamming shut.
Yeah, I mean, EG finding that frag, probably thinking, okay, well, MIBR lost that player. They think perhaps that we're stacked up more heavily towards this site. Let's rotate around to B and reinforce that. And they've got 3 bodies now. It would be very scary for MIBR coming in here.
The spam is almost as much to just fake the solo player here as anything else. Now there's the swing back out. 2 kills for George, a follow-up for Walco, and just no time. Just no time. BRN, I don't even know his likelihood of saving here.
Very low.
For a shot hit, that might allow him to get around the corner, and indeed, he's going to win the foot race. He's going to bail out. He's going to be able to escape, but again, the money's going to be in such a weird spot here, and he still doesn't have that much cash. BRN, I mean, they're going to buy around this for sure. It's going to be awkward, though.
I'm surprised Rush goes so aggressively around that corner to take the fight. Could have waited just a touch longer and caught the Opera off guard. He was very low HP, but instead he's down and the Op is somehow saved. Timeout going to be called here. And to note, that's the second time that the clock has been an enemy for MIBR. And it's something we kind of expected for EG. Didn't see as much on their side, but again, it's rearing its ugly head for MIBR. No question. 11-10. They only have that 1 round victory so far in the second half, and Evil Geniuses, have all but erased that 5 round lead that MIBR brought into this second half.
Closed the gap. Now let's see if they can pull ahead. They're in the slipstream now. First still eludes them. It's actually astonishing when you look at the kill disparity between the 2 sides. What this actually looks like. Bonkers.
It's just the
beauty of Inferno.
Yes, exactly.
I usually do think George had a disconnect, reconnect. I think he was top of the board before he did so. So there is a good bevy of... I don't know where he's at in sum total, but there's a good bevy of kills that are just missing from the ledger.
True.
Up. Speaking of George, he's gonna add another one. He was low HP, 1 bullet connecting, and he would have been gone, but Exit can't find that. It is the soft site. I wonder how much of that Exit saw, how much he's going to be able to communicate, because if they strike now, it's going to be their best chance. Junior's just slipped into the pit. The window of opportunity is already starting to shrink. And I think MIBR have missed the chance here. Junior now peering in, and he was looking for that pick, and he's not going to have it. Sonny making an individual move, claiming a kill, but the library player could catch him off guard. How's he gotten past this? How's he gotten past this? A little bit of a flub from George, perhaps.
He was spotted, though. Yeah, Hex is waiting.
Sonny out, but Sonny gets this kill. There's the pit player still here. Junior stuck. Trying his bomb plan. He secured it at the very least, but a huge kill on Insani. This would be the best round yet. Coming from both directions. Needs to isolate one of these fights, and he knows it. To pick your poison. Which way do you want to go? Nice attempt. Shot's not on just yet. The remaneuvering.
What?
And now the clock is his friend. Junior has to make the move now. Insani, unreasonable on this speed. The sidearm out. Insani's done it again for his 30th kill of the map.
That's not okay, Insani. I mean, you can't stop that. Stop
30-9, John. 30-9. He is doing so much lifting here.
It's ridiculous, that situation in itself, right? He's just flicking back and forth. He knows that the pincer is on, and even with the spot from Junior, it's not enough for the frag to come through, and I don't think EG did anything wrong. Insani just literally clicked heads and flicked around so fast that EG couldn't react. It's unreasonable how well he's playing. Exit, jumps around, almost gets a jumping MAC-10 frag onto Junior. BRN is the one to deliver, rush is the next victim, and it's just going MIBR's way.
Or is it?
Hex gets 2.
Or is it? These low players, though, it should be fine. It should be fine. Trying to up the ante, up the pace. Did lead them into a little bit of the fray, but this retake is looking nigh on impossible. George does have a molly. Attempt this, but he's just going to attempt to slip through. Element of surprise, and that won't work out for him. There's going to be another eco, or at least partial buy here from EG before they can get back into the fray. Come so close, John, but it seems like just as they were set to pull ahead, MIBR have put them in the rearview mirror.
Insani in particular has put them in the rearview mirror, I think. I mean, 30 frags, like you mentioned. Yesterday, it was more the Exit Insani combo that was doing a lot of damage. Both of them actually tied with 26 frags, but this time it's just Insani contributing even more. And Turtle's been good. We can't forget about him, right?
Yeah, let's not take away
But,
Turtle's laurels
yeah.
here.
He's been a pretty
He's
strong performer.
Certainly turtly enough for the Turtle Club right now.
Yeah.
Showing up good. They're into the light site. It's just pistols across the board. We're not expecting much, but a little bit of a cheeky boost up back new box. Molotov airplane. Uh-oh. Well, might need to work on our util here, boys, but should be still a-okay. Only so much pistol can be expected to do.
Yeah, it's just USBs, and they're doing nothing. George probably going to die as soon as he comes out here, and he's not going to come out. He's going to wait behind the smoke a little bit longer. So the Evil Geniuses, I mean, best case scenario here is you maybe get a frag and pick up a gun on an exit, but they're just going to try and fight it. They go for it. Why not? There's no real great decision to be made here. Rush the last one standing, 30 HP. No armor, no util, no hope.
Last couple of rounds have featured a major jump off in the pace of play. It's looking downright frenetic at this point.
It's crazy. I think it's a good adjustment from MIBR as well, because the slow paced play wasn't yielding the results they were hoping for. Twice the clock was against them. They say, you know what, guys, let's just try and win the fight straight up. And yes, it's just pistols here, but that's what was happening as they got to that 12th and 13th round. You have to imagine, though, with guns up again here for the Evil Geniuses, that MIBR are going to slow just a touch. As I say that, BRN's already at the half wall here at Banana. And he's looking for fights.
They might not be expecting him up so soon.
Mm-hmm.
They're ready.
I think he's waiting for a flash.
He's going to get it. He's going to gain the corner. Quite get the fight he was hoping for. That flash doesn't quite land. George somehow catches the edge of it. So he won't face. That was the idea. Past the Molotov. That's a big clear for Walco. George gets a secondary as well. He will be dropped, but still, it's a good hold right now. And Walco's repositioned, so this Molotov's not going to be as effective. The orange is, but still, Exit has the presence of mind to bring that through. Bomb plant, all but guaranteed. Going to the retake, Exit and Henny. Old veteran of the squad. What do they got for us? Nothing for Exit. Henny next to Falter as well. It's Rush on the other side to keep EG fighting here.
Yes, MIBR just do slow it down, but not by much. You know, that flashbang came through. They went for the peak. It didn't necessarily yield a frag, and they still managed to clean out the bomb site and secure a plant, but that retake was clinical from Evil Geniuses. They don't really let MIBR get that chance to stabilize and plant their feet on B. And as soon as exit goes down, it's just such a tough situation for a lone op to come out with much of anything, not to mention at close range towards construction, and it doesn't happen. So Evil Geniuses do get back on the board here with an 11th. Gonna need a lot more than that, considering the economy that was built up from MIBR. They're still comfortable here in this round, probably okay in the next, even if they lose here. But Henny, spots out the barrel of Junior, and now Junior has to retreat. He realizes that the jig is up, and he goes back. That nade.
Flashbang, not quite as effective as they were hoping. BRN not fully blind. He's got the kill. So the opener goes the way of MIBR. BRN here. A little bit of control elsewhere on the map, but they're so hesitant. They're expecting a second punch here. Waiting for that aggression to come through. They're letting the time slip off the clock. Bit of a disguise punch. It's Junior here. Right back behind the corner. It's going to be a hard shot to hit. But if they jiggle the angle, he's got him. Ability to force him back. Wants no business with this, and he is alone. Uh-oh. Hex rotated off at the wrong time, trying to stack numbers in the right place. Junior's got one. They realize he's alone. Ooh, no, not quite. Now the mid lurk comes up. That's the bomb now facing. Henny realizes he has to get the heck out of dodge, and Junior, dancing around the site, continues to find casualties. Last player spotted, forced off. Turtle, what can you do with only 20 seconds to go? Herculean effort from Junior. The kills, the maneuvering, full command.
This is how good Junior's been throughout the season. The scoreline might not say it here right now, but that is just two extremely impactful frags. When things were starting to lean the way of MIBR, he comes through and just clocks them. Unbelievable stuff. Turtle, the last one standing, and all he'll get is an AK out of this. And now the money actually isn't that great for the MIBR side. They could go for a half buy around this AK, but that's at most because they don't want their economy to go too low. Look at that, Junior with one and the second afterwards, of course, onto Henny, who, like you said, Mike, realized that he had the bomb in his possession and had to get to that bomb site, but things just got way too disjointed there for MIBR, and they paid the price.
Ready for an underpass peek. The player up top could maybe catch him off guard. Just Glock, so can't say he's too worried about it. That Molotov not burning Henny at all would be a really nice piece for Henny if he had anything other than a Glock.
Yeah.
A cheeky moment to swing with a deagle. But 'tis not to be. George will take the initiative instead.
George has been really aggressive down bananas for several rounds. And I mean, sometimes it's cost him. This time it doesn't because he gets that opening frag, but it is just against those pistols. And as you mentioned, mostly Glocks. And he has backed off. Hex gets another here onto Insani. There will be another fight maybe from Henny. It looked like he wanted to commit here and instead backs off, maybe called back by his IGL exit who has the AK. Walco peeking around. Just one frag here could lead into a bomb plant for MIBR, but wisely, the Evil Geniuses say, okay, guys, no reason for us to be that aggressive with a 5v3 advantage, and they fall back to the site proper. Great flash. Wow.
Easy collect, perfect timing, yeah, and just easy connection on this. Now it's 3 players, a triangle of danger, and just no chance of getting out of that for MIBR. So the gap closes to just 1 round, John. One more crack through, and we're getting the full 30, guaranteed, and the money is set to run out for MIBR as well. So a critical moment for the Brazilian squad.
That's just a great call by the Evil Geniuses. I know it's just pistols, but we've seen how things can get out of control very quickly with those pistols, especially in the hands of MIBR. And, you know, just double back. You have the flashes, you have the util and the manpower. let them come to you, and they just clean them up. Timeout going to be called here. Both teams going to get a chance to talk things over, but now here we go, round number 28. And as you mentioned, Mike, Evil Geniuses, one more round victory, and we are indeed going the distance here in regulation. MIBR cannot afford the AKs across the board. It will be 4 AKs and a Galil. And on EG's side, well, I think they have 3. Yeah, they have 3 AKs, an A1S, and an AWP. So that's going to bolster their defensive end. Junior, he's peeking around with Rush. They're going to charge down Rush, living up to his namesake here, going right down mid. I think Henny's heard it, and he's waiting, and he gets the headshot.
He does indeed. That's a big piece to fall early. Pressure on for these A defenders. G dumping util, fading back. But it's the palace, sorry, the apartment's present. What map is it? That's going to threaten. Junior posted. A Halls pop could make his life very difficult. Here comes the flash. Here comes the setup. They're out. They're in. Junior catches the first. They're expecting the pit player. There's no one there. They're out towards the lane instead. And now Hex shuts it down. Bit of awkwardness here. That skipper nade might take out Hex. It does indeed. And oh, BRN has turned this round on its head. Should have been locked out 1v4. But now he's got himself a chance to be the hero. No information on where George is coming from.
Oh.
But he slipped into the pit. He's got some time. 45 seconds to be exact. He might fake that he's left. Let's see if George makes a move. George still is a statue here at Moto. No reason.
He's waiting for some sort of audio cue.
So you know where it's at. He's going to cross. On that, George peeks out. The gun can't get out in time. George seals the deal. We're going the distance. We're going the full 30.
Wow. 2 impressive individual plays there. One Junior up close, hits the no-scope, and then a follow-up as well, thanks to the support he had, I believe, from Hex behind him. And then BRN, I mean, that's just, oh my goodness, that maneuvering is so nice, right? He gets the one with the nade and then goes around the smoke to find himself a second as the nade explodes. I mean, just nothing Walco can do. And I think BRN may have flashed himself out. It looked like Walco was blinded there. Who knows what happened in that sequence, but either way, BRN impressive, and at the end, it is indeed George's patience paying off, and we are going the full 30. Tied up 14-14, and it could even be MIBR facing off against an Evil Genius's map point, because all they've got here are pistols. They're saving for overtime.
They are indeed. I mean, for EG, right, this is their map choice, so better late than never.
Oh, yeah.
Making this comeback happen. Another Inferno comeback for them. So close to making this happen now.
14 is all they get, Mike, when it comes to EG, right?
Apparently that's the law. Backs against the wall, that's where they thrive the most. But in this one, it's very stale for EG, right? They don't want to give this round up, so they're playing very default, super vanilla. Not a lot of utility here. One single flashbang to try and get them through this flash. Or the smoke, rather. Here it goes. Here's the maneuver. Here's the explosion. They need to connect on some shots. And through the smoke, this is bold. BRN's all the way past. Doesn't realize that Walco's actually just here in the smoke. Cleared out coffins. Now they force Walco back. It's going to be a bomb plant and a gun gained. Ah, BRN lost. There's not nearly as much time. This bomb needs to be planted, and finally it will go down back corner. Not very often. See the C4 planted there. Got Insani, misses his first chance. Turtle, though, does connect. Now Insani continuing to face. Slips back into the banana. Turtle down for the count. It's all about these deeks. It's all about these deeks, and they will not find more. The bomb can be defused. It's not planted for Insani at all. He cannot find a shot here. He's going to be a goner.
Well, an important frag comes through immediately from Junior right towards coffins to get to make sure in the post plant that they have a good chance of getting back into that bomb site. It works out perfectly for them. MIBR, all they had were the deagles. And to be honest, again, it's a save round. They weren't expecting much out of it. They get the bomb plant, which means a much stronger buy here in this final round of play. at least allowing Henny to get 3-4 pieces of util. In fact, one drop for him, whereas before he might not have had that. Either way, MIBR, it's come down to this for them as the Evil Geniuses trying to complete their comeback.
John, the big difference for MIBR is Insani's 30-9 at one point. He hasn't gotten a kill in 6 rounds.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, I can't.
George, aggressive down Banana, gets traded out here. Considering that pace of play, they could use one more explosive round from Insani here. He's bailing them out of so many situations, but maybe he needs his teammates to carry him over the line, or at this point, just up to the line.
EG have a very lethal crossfire set up in bracket, so if MIBR go there, it's going to be very, very tough. Walco now up close, hugging the red wall. And this is exactly where Insani's coming. We talked about him. He's gone silent. Can he deliver an opening frag here? Flashbang thrown. There it is. But a trade comes back and Walco gets 2. Rush with 1 onto Turtle. It's only Henny left in a 1v3 clutch attempt for at least survival here on Inferno, Mike.
Just to keep them alive. Just to keep them alive after all the good work they've done after the 10-5 half, after the run back here in this second as well. And he's been spotted. Information given up. If he crosses mid, he's a dead man. And he is indeed. Junior waiting for his prey. Evil Geniuses have done it. Running behind for so much of this game. They keep fighting and they close it 16-14.
I mean, I think Junior's the story there in that second half, right? He walked into it with a scoreline that was very uncharacteristic for him, and then he jumps.